15. At one point in time, he lost his girl, he lost his job, he lost his freedom. Last month, many thought that he had the OVW championship around his waist. He had Silvio beat, and it was stolen from Howe once again. This guy has made a career of coming oh so close, finishing just short of the goal, finishing second best. With a definitive look in wrestling's rock star's eyes, he says tonight is the night. He will go into 2016 the OVW champion. But for Howe to make good on his word, he is going to have to overcome a psycho superstar. Chris Silvio's been the champion for the better part of 5 months. Controversial, to say the least. There is a section that calls themselves the Silvio section, and it is growing, ladies and gentlemen. So it is the Silvio section versus Howe's Rockers tonight in your main event. A rematch from the November edition of the Saturday Night Special. Who is going to get their holiday wish and leave here with the OVW title around their waist? Let's go to round head for our main event introduction.
The following match is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. It is a title match for the OVW Heavyweight Championship. Your referee assigned to this title match, AJ Lucio. Introducing first, the challenger in the corner to my right. He is rocketing from the Sunset Strip, weighing in tonight at 242 pounds, Rockstar Ryan Howe. And his opponent from San Francisco, California, by way of Richmond, Virginia. He weighs in tonight at 202 pounds. He is the current, reigning, and defending OVW Heavyweight Champion, the psychedelic superstar, Chris Silvio.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what all the marbles are about. Silvio and Howe, 2.
As this historic, important title matchup here. You want to talk about a big fight feel. You want to talk about an atmosphere here that is just simply electric. It's not going to get any more electric than what you're seeing right here. As both these men.
Let's take it in, Ronhead. And Davis Arena is really split down the middle here. Bell sounds, we are set to go. This one's gonna be action-packed. Sit back and enjoy.
Look at the intensity of both these men as they have taken it to each other in the past in some of the biggest, most incredible matchups in OVW history.
Look, if you ask me, Silvio's got something to prove here, because last month, many are saying that Ryan Howe had his number, and had it not been for the outside interference of Randy Royal, that Howe would be the champion right now. And very quickly, Silvio goes into the grind.
And Chris Silvio doing some nice, surprising us with chain wrestling here. Floats over into a front face lock as Ryan Howe now trying to alleviate the downward pressure, and Silvio backing him in the corner, and yeah, right there on the break. But look at Howe. Look at Howe. Well, look at Silvio. Silvio's taking it to him with, God forbid, wrestling.
Howe's put Silvio's shoulders on the mat from the side headlock position. Silvio's out before one, gets back up to a vertical base.
Maybe something we're not used to seeing out of Chris Silvio is the man who has ultra-violent imprinted
Silvio who perhaps coming in with a rematch with a different battle strategy than he came last month, I should say.
And you're right, maybe he does have something to prove as Ryan Howe slams it. Silvio up.
Nobody home as Howe drops the fist.
Chris Silvio staying one step ahead and putting a little hip into that takedown right there.
After Randy Royal interfered in the contest last month, it was Ryan Howe earlier this month on OVW television who would defeat Royal to become the #1 contender once again.
But even after getting a cup of smoldering liquid in the eye, after taking a fight like you can't imagine, he was still unable.
Silvio uses the hair to pump the brakes and put Howe back on the mat.
But still a different strategy. Even though he's grabbing the hair, it's not the attack that we're used to seeing here. But that's what makes Chris Silvio such a well-rounded champion. But Ryan Howe quickly going for that whammy bar submission, and Silvio in the ropes.
And the wherewithal of the psychedelic superstar, whether you like him or not, as a veteran, he knows where he's at inside that squared circle at all times. Howe quickly went to the whammy bar.
And missing again. Ryan Howe, every means of offense has been countered by the champion.
This is going to be a seesaw matchup. These are the kind of superstars who don't just come into the same fight with the same battle strategy. You better believe that both Silvio and Howe spent the last 30 days watching tape, studying what happened in the last time they met one-on-one at the November edition of the Saturday Night Special.
And Chris Silvio didn't just fall into the ultra-violent pit. I mean, he's paid his dues along the way, over 10 years on the road. We're talking about.
But so is Howe. So is Howe for that matter. And Ryan is the guy who has always finished second best.
That's what makes this match so intriguing, Gilbert. That's what's bringing this match into the main event.
Always right under the brass ring is Ryan Howe. Always almost there. Can you imagine wrestling your entire career in the semi-main, almost there? The guy that nobody really believes is going to be there? The guy, the man? How that's gotten under the skin. We've seen Howe emerge as a more focused, a darker in-ring competitor here in OVW because he's got a chip. That chip on his shoulder has grown into a canyon. Leg is hooked. Howe's on top. Silvio's out in two. That chip on his shoulder has grown into a canyon because Howe no longer wants to be second best.
But Chris Silvio may have something to say about it. As Ryan Howe with the flurry, but Chris Silvio cuts him off. And Silvio, well, Ryan Howe with that Steel Panther press.
Look at the roll through, the counter here from Silvio. Silvio used Howe's own momentum from the springboard crossbody block to turn it into a pinning predicament for himself.
And Chris Silvio, you're right, he has been studying videos of Ryan Howe while he has a history, a background, studying such greats as Terry Funk, as Sabu, as Cactus Jack. This is a man who has watched all the greats, studied from their best matches, and learned from them. That's what makes him the champion. But can Ryan Howe overcome all this? Back suplex and like a pit bull, hanging on.
Holding on for dear life.
And again with wrestling, Strangler Silvio, using that side headlock much like Strangler Lewis did in his early golden years.
Wait, Silvio's foot's in the rope. AJ Lucio saw it after the 1 count.
Chris Silvio.
But it forced Silvio to break that side headlock. That's the way you cauliflower an ear.
And now patented Chris Silvio. Wicked, violent, painful cross faces.
Fully legal.
And I should say that Ryan Howe's family is here in ringside.
Mother. First time I've ever seen Ryan Howe's mother in Davis Arena. She is here tonight. That's how much she believes.
And they're at the bottom of the screen right there. His brother, his father, they're all here. They all believe in their man. But what a sick taste of irony as Chris Silvio up and over, but lands on his feet.
But he's in a precarious position right there on the apron.
Over our ring desk right there. Chris Silvio trying that DDT like he's done in the past on the apron, but Ryan Howe.
Howe knows what it feels like and is able to fight his way out, Ron.
fighting his way out, but again, both these men scouting each other. Holds and counter, holds and that time.
Howe did his best, but the DDT was unavoidable from the champion. Chris Silvio knows so many ways to hurt you.
It's like the sick, inevitable facts that just have to happen in a Chris Silvio title match.
And as Silvio flattens Howe with the DDT on the hardest part of the ring, the adulation of the Silvio section.
The ever-growing Silvio section. The man who's gained a cult following on both social media and at live OVW events. And there he is, going to patented Chris Silvio town, setting that steel chair. This isn't an ultra-violent rules match.
But Silvio, as twisted as his mind works, has found a way to use a chair without getting disqualified.
Not using the chair as a weapon, but rather as a base. Propping the challenger on the chair.
Incoming!
But that time, he went face first and in the chair. He ate the steel that time.
The best laid plans of the OVW champion just backfired. Can Howe now capitalize?
Ryan Howe has been sick and tired of feeling a knee into the head while sitting in the chair time after time again. And Ryan Howe,
Howe's firing up here.
eyeballing that title belt.
Remembering what it's all about now. Howe looks like he's finding a second wind.
Getting reinvigorated that time. Getting his feet up.
Quickly up to the top rope, cat-like quickness from WrestleAge Rockstar. Is he got a missile drop kick? Thought he was going for the chart topper, but Silvio was too far away. And Silvio flew halfway across the ring.
What a right by Ryan Howe again.
The Rocker laying in the hits.
And the champion, Chris Silvio, is in trouble here.
Just like he was last month, Ronhead. Ryan Howe told me and back earlier tonight that he believes in the pit of his soul that he is better than Chris Silvio. And tonight, he's going to prove it to the world.
Flying shoulder tackle on Chris Silvio. Scooping at the champion, and he feels it that time. Driving that fist down. Can it happen here?
Axe kick from Howe. Silvio's flat on the mat.
After years of being on the road, all roads lead to this moment, to this title match. Silvio.
Chart topper. Howe hit it. Leg is hooked. New champ.
No. Somehow Chris Silvio gets his shoulder up. What a
2
battle.
9/10. It doesn't get any closer than that, ladies and gentlemen.
Earlier on in this match, we saw Chris Silvio trying to maybe throw off the challenger with wrestling, but Ryan Howe.
Howe, you gotta stay focused. Get out of here.
But can he capitalize? He's gotten so close on so many times, and he's been unsuccessful.
Howe's gotta be asking, what do you do next? What else is it gonna take?
People have claimed that Ryan Howe has the number of the champion, but thus far he hasn't been able to prove it.
Now Howe's going to work on the arm. You see that pad on the Psychedelic Superstar's left arm, a bicep injury, and Howe knows it. And now Howe is trying to soften the champion up for that whammy bar.
That whammy bar, which is a double wrist lock Kimura submission hold. So painful, so lethal, so dangerous to the career. And again, driving the knees into that damaged arm of the champion.
Howe trying to separate the shoulder.
Can you imagine the kind of pain in the champion's arm right now?
Silvio's trying to get away.
But Ryan Howe, sensing the moment is either here or it's gone. And you don't want to get disqualified here, Ryan Howe. Is he going to let his emotions get the best of him? His emotions have sent him to jail in the past.
Again, it has been a tumultuous year. The trials and tribulations of Ryan Howe are well documented. Stabbed in the back by his ex-wife, Jessie Bell. He lost his freedom. He lost his job. He lost the OVW Television Championship. He came so close to glory on so many occasions.
And you
But
gotta
in
wonder.
one night, with just 3 seconds, in one night with a tap on the mat, it could all be worth it for wrestling's rock star.
But if he hasn't done it yet, can he do it? You gotta wonder. Does he have it in him as a super punch?
Where did it come from? Where did it come from? Silvio with the tie-dye TKO and lights out Ryan Howe.
Chris Silvio reaching down with every fiber of his being. And
To end.
almost, but no. Ryan Howe, look at disbelief, total disbelief.
Both of these guys just fractions of a second away from victory.
The battle fatigue.
Silvio calling for Ashcraft. He must not realize what happened to his executive consultant in the last match. Silvio doesn't have Ashcraft. Randy Royal was taken out by Big John. Mr. Ultraviolent, the psychedelic superstar, he's gonna have to do it on his own.
And he just might do it. Snap suplex onto Ryan Howe. And drops that elbow. This might just be it.
Look at the leg, and Howe's out in 2. Howe is out in 2. Resiliency of wrestling's rock star.
As frustration starting to set into the champion right there. It's got to be wondering, how can he keep the challenger at bay without Josh Ashcraft, without a crooked referee, without Rocco Bellagio? It's just down to two men who are fighting for the most prestigious title in OVW. Missing the super punch that time, and
Spear! Howe snaps Silvio in half, floats back over into the cover. The leg is hooked. Will it be enough? No!
And Ryan Howe, even Ryan Howe looks like he's getting frustrated. The look of disbelief is sinking into both these men as it could go either way right now.
I tell you what, the last Saturday night special of 2015, you are seeing the match of the year.
And it looks like Ryan Howe might be getting that sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach that he cannot put the man away. Trying to keep his head held high, but he's got to wonder, can he put him away?
Silvio staggers back to his feet. Howe goes for that spear again and meets the steel pole. Howe's shoulder wrapped around the steel, and he may have separated. He may have separated his shoulder or broken his collarbone. And look how quickly the vice grip, a whammy bar, a modified whammy bar applied from Silvio. Is Howe gonna tap out to his own hold?
Ryan Howe might tap out to his own submission hold. That Kimura hold is cinched deep, and he might risk, after having his shoulder driven into the post, he might risk a permanent injury. He might have to tap. Ryan Howe
is gonna have to dig deeper into the pit of his soul than he's ever gone before. And look at the guts. Look at Howe trying to work his way to his feet. This is sheer guts here, ladies and gentlemen. 20 minutes into the contest, a battered and beaten Ryan Howe just picks up dead weight from Silvio.
How does he do it? With his left arm hanging limp at his side, continuing his assault, his attack on the champion's arm.
It looks like both of these guys only got one good wing. But if you've only got one arm, Howe's feet are working just fine.
He's got his limbs working right there as connects with a penalty kick while his arm hanging limp. The champion up to his feet.
Punched on the apron and connects.
Connects with a Thez press off the apron and now just unloading with his fists.
Howe can't let his emotions get the best of him. He's only got 10 seconds on the outside of the ring, and he doesn't want to miss a disqualification.
Can't win the title out on the floor, and Chris Silvio just knows this in the back of his mind. Chris Silvio knows that if they get counted out, he'll be walking away a successful OVW champion as they're battling out on the floor. Face first into the post that time.
These two superstars are laying it all on the line, Ron Head.
A desperate champion, but still a wise and dangerous champion. Staggering, bruised, hurt, possibly injured, but this fight continues. Chris Silvio, after sending the challenger into literally pillar to post, just might be measuring the challenger.
Silvio sends the top rope. Howe's there to meet him. High risk, no reward. Howe's got the whammy bar. Howe's got the whammy bar. Silvio's got nowhere to go. He's caught in the middle of the ring. Is Silvio gonna tap? Is Silvio gonna tap?
So close, inches away. The pain's gotta be coursing through the champion's body. Are we gonna have a new champion here?
Silvio is scratching. He is crawling. He is trying to get to that bottom rope to break the hold.
That shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, but no, he makes his way to the ropes. Makes his way.
He got there with his foot.
And
After a 20-minute contest, the sweat on Silvio and Howe allowed Silvio to almost slither out from the whammy bar.
One can only imagine the kind of damage that these men have inflicted brutally on each other.
You don't have to wonder. You don't have to wonder. The pain and agony is written all over Silvio's face.
Divorce court separating the shoulder from the socket.
And Howe is not only going to try and separate that shoulder, he's going to try and break Silvio's arm.
And it looks like he's...
If Howe doesn't leave here the OVW champion, he's going to leave with Silvio's arm as a souvenir.
Gonna try to break that arm right off onto the post. Ryan Howe wouldn't mind just tearing that arm off and beating the champion upside his
He's
head.
trying his hardest right now.
And now, Ryan Howe gets caught.
Coming into the ring. And that low blow will stop you dead in your tracks.
Not even sure if the ref saw, but it doesn't matter because it happened.
Not a disqualification. Silvio kicked the rope, not Howe.
And the battle fatigue's gotta be setting in, and back elbow. He's gonna try that Steel Panther press again, and
Super punch! That springboard crossbody block backfired again because Howe met the tie-dye TKO from Chris Silvio.
and Chris Silvio's measuring him up for the beginning of the end.
And again, two tie-dye TKOs, and this one is a...
No!
My God!
No! Who in the hell?
Shock and awe in the face of Chris Silvio. Silvio saying, what's it gonna take to beat wrestling's rock star?
Ryan Howe is laying flat on his back, but he got a shoulder up, and he's still in the game.
Not one, but two TKOs in a row. 3 in this match. And Ryan Howe still survives.
And again, the whammy bar.
And this time Silvio's in the middle of the ring. Nowhere to go.
And the fans are chanting for it. Ryan Howe is
Look at the handshake.
so
Look at
close,
the
so
quiver.
close. He's
Is
so far
Silvio
from...
gonna tap? Is Silvio gonna tap? Yes!
That's it! New champion! Your winner and new OVW heavyweight champion, Ryan Howe.
How did it? No more second best. Ryan Howe, the new OVW champion.
After a long journey, it ends here tonight as we have a new OVW champion with his family at ringside to cheer him on. He has finally made it. He has finally achieved it.
A dream has come true for wrestling's rock star. He has been to hell and back, met every trial and tribulation in 2015. But wrestling's rock star, Ryan Howe, will end the year at the top of the mountain in OVW. What a moment. What a night. Howe is champion.
Each and every one of these fans can appreciate the quest that Ryan Howe has gone through. All the trials and tribulations. But he has done it.
He lost his job. He lost his girl. He lost his freedom. And in one moment, he got it all back.
And he got it back in spades. As the former champion and Ryan Howe meeting eye to eye after quite possibly the most intense battle in OVW history.
What's this from Silvio? Don't trust him, don't trust him.
Chris Silvio's like a snake. But there is a handshake.
What a sign here. Match of the year 2015, Silvio and Howe.
What a battle, what a fight. And we have a new champion.
Wrestling's rock star is at the top of the charts. For Ron Head, I'm Gilbert Corsi, saying we'll see you next year in OVW.